Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and yes, I am finally back with a brand new shelf video. This is episode 20, I believe. Yeah, we left off from like the indie shelf where we had like the, toe tag stuff, Necrostorm, Sleazebox, and so on and so on. But now we are going to get into the original Anchor Bays. So I guess the series is, it was dubbed as a 2017 overview. So it'll be 17-18 because in the last few months I've become super hella busy and I just have no time to do videos, as you guys have probably noticed. After Halloween, I haven't posted any videos besides the podcast. But I do have a little bit of time right now, so I'm going to get into this, and let's get right into this because it's probably going to be pretty long. So original Anchor Bay, as you guys all know, that look like that. And then after this shelf is done, we'll kind of get into the middle ground of Anchor Bay that kind of looks like that before they fully went, when they merged with Starz and then everything went to hell. But those are the only Anchor Bays we're going to be showing here. So, yes, first up here is, I got a couple double features here. I was never really into buying double features back in the day, so I never picked up a lot of these. But found this one actually used, Horror 101, Horror 102 Endgame, and then of course because of this bonus film, Museum of the Dead. This is a horrible triple feature. Horror 101, 102 are just like really bad, kind of modern slasher films. Museum of the Dead is just crazy low budget shit. I just can't even believe that Anchor Bay actually ever put that out. It's really bad. I remember this double feature being super sought out for a long time. The Pit and Hellgate, both films have made their way to Blu-ray. The Pit being on Kino, and Hellgate got a Blu-ray release from Arrow Video, which is very, very cool, which I have both of these on Blu-ray. But I keep this because this is, I hunted for this for a long time. It was always super hard to find. So, plus original Anchor Bay, I like to collect these. So, both great films, man. The Pit being just an awesome killer kid film, and Hellgate being a really cheesy 80s oddity. It's fun though. I enjoy it. Next up here we got Blade in the Dark and Macabre Lamberto Bava films. I've talked about these films many times. I've got multiple copies of like all these films. But that's a cool double feature right there. And then we got The Initiation, and we got Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Two very different slasher films. One takes place in like a mall, the other one in a hotel. This crazy ass lady. Both pretty decent slasher films. Nothing to write home about, but they're both pretty good, as you guys probably always know. Now, here's an interesting one. Abominable. This is a kind of like a Yeti type film. Now, if you look, this thing was, after Anchor Bay had merged with Starz, they kind of reissued some of these titles, but the slipcover now has that shitty ass Starz logo. But if you just lift this up, it does have the original Anchor Bay. So that's what the slipcover looks like. Sorry for the shitty artwork. And then it does have the original. Right. So you'll see a couple of those in here, but yeah, Abominable. This thing's awesome. I love this film, man. It's just great fun, man. You know exactly what you're going to get with a cover like that. Pretty good stuff. The very sought-out Alice, Sweet Alice. This one right here, I cannot believe does not have a Blu-ray release anywhere. I think there's rights issues with this film, so it has not received that type of treatment, but it has been released by, I believe, 88 Films put it out on DVD also. It has not been reissued in the United States since this, or North America since, or I should say Region 1, since this DVD, which is unfortunate because, it's a good film. Very good stuff. Alien Apocalypse, Bruce Campbell, sci-fi comedy. It's pretty bad, actually. Kind of fun, though. Yeah, you know what you're going to get with Bruce Campbell in a film called Alien Apocalypse. All Souls Day. Not a bad film. It got Danny Trejo in it, Jeffrey Combs. Yeah, it takes place on Day of the Dead. Or, is that what the name of the holiday is? Shit. All Souls Day. It's not too bad. It's got a little bit of... It's got some decent moments in it. Modern stuff. This one came out in like the mid-2000s, I believe 2005 or 6 or something like that. Sorry about the glare, guys. It's like really bright and I'm by the window. Next up here is The Antichrist. Kind of like Exorcist ripoff from the early 70s. 74, I believe this one came out in. I can see. Yep, 1974. That's a pretty good guess. Yeah, you know what you're getting with this one, man. Exorcist ripoff. For some odd reason, I have 2 copies of Army of the Darkness, like this edition. I think I do know why I have 2 copies, because I think I had ordered I was looking for, I think the director's cut, the one where Bruce Campbell's on the cover flexing. I think that's the one I tried to order. My memory serves me correctly, but they ended up sending me this one, but yeah, I don't know. And then they said they didn't have a copy, so whatever. But I ended up with 2 of these, so. Here is the Army of Darkness Director's Cut Bootleg Edition. I always love this edition, man, the way it looks. They did a fantastic job with this. Actually looks like it's all wrapped up and shit. Very, very cool release. Army of Darkness, we all know the film. Aunt Rose, not a film I particularly cared for. I haven't seen this one in years, but I remember it being very cheesy. I think this one has some really shit CG in it, too. Another modern film that Anchor Bay released in about the mid-2000s before they merged with Starz. We got Baby Blood, the French film. This one is just fantastic. What a great film. Very, very bloody and gory. It's nasty, nasty shit. If you've never seen blood, Baby Blood before, definitely try to seek this one out to check it out. It's pretty nasty. I don't want to give too much away. It does have a pregnant chick. It's awesome. Definitely worth your time. This one needs to get a re-release. It's been never re-released since it's been out of print. So, Bad Taste, the lenticular cover. Oh, there we go. Peace. Fuck you. This was actually a find. I used to have just the standard edition of this. I sent it to my boy Zach. I'm not sure, but I came across this in a pawn shop one time for like $2. Like someone had just dropped it off, and I was like, "Well, I'm obviously grabbing that shit." So, yeah, nice edition, 2-disc edition and shit. But yeah, Bad Taste. Peter Jackson's first film. Fucking love that movie. So much fun. The Beastmaster, directed by Don Coscarelli, of course, famous for directing the Phantasm films. This is great sword and sorcery type fantasy shit. I love it, man. Good stuff with, what's his name? What's it, Eric Singer? Eric Singer and Tanya Roberts is in this film. Good shit, man. I think I have like the first 3 of them on VHS also. They're fun films. Behind the Mask. Here's another one. So this one came out, it had that Starz logo, if you guys can see there. It came out on this, like, Horror Society had this thing. But, you know, it actually does have, it is original Anchor Bay Behind the Mask. This is actually getting a Scream Factory Blu-ray. Very, very soon. Collector's edition, I believe. This is a film that I've always liked. You know, I've always liked this, The Rise of Leslie Vernon story. It's pretty interesting. I know a lot of people are kind of, you know, there's mixed feelings on this one. But I think it's actually pretty well done. When you really kind of dig into it, it's pretty well done. And we got The Beyond. This is like one of the early Anchor Bay standard editions of The Beyond. I think this one came out in like, I want to say it came out in 2000. Like, that's an early DVD right there. Very, very cool stuff. Even had a bunch of features on it. One of my favorite movies of all time, Fulci. I got way too many copies of this. Even in 2000, even had the Grindhouse releasing logo on it. That's interesting. But yeah, I think I have like 10 copies of this movie. Double feature, Huey Lamel, who recently just passed away, actually. The Boogeyman and Devonsville Terror. You know, I've never really been the biggest Boogeyman fan. I like the premise of it. It was kind of an interesting premise given the time that it came out. You know, right in the golden age of slashers, like, you know, 80, 81 type thing. And it had like it was a supernatural slasher. So it's kind of cool. I think the execution was a little bit poor on it, but Devonsville Terror I actually think is his best film. I actually like it more than A Company of Wolves. And then Huey Lamel, you know, he took a lot of time off in the 90s, came back in the 2000s, directed like 100 fucking, you know, micro budget type films, and then ultimately passed away. But I know he's always been dubbed as like one of the worst directors of all time. But yeah, anyways, rest in peace, Huey Lamel. Devonsville Terror, good shit. I actually want to pick up that 88 Blu-ray that they put out of that. Business is Business. This is a very sought-out Anchor Bay title here, too. I don't think this has any other type of release, but this is Paul Verhoeven's first film from like 73, 74. If you guys recognize the name, he's probably most famous for directing like RoboCop and Total Recall. Actually directed that, among films. He directed a bunch of good ones, but those two I always remember him from because those are two of my favorite films. I absolutely love those movies. But Business is Business, a very odd film. Don't even want to get into it because it's very strange, but you need to check this one out, man. It's unique. If you can find a copy. Cannibal Man, this copy right here is just not destroyed, but I've got a big tear in it, which is totally shitty. Not a big deal. I do have another copy of Blue Underground right there, but this is actually a video nasty. I can never understand why it's not like a full-blown cannibal film. There's nothing really that crazy about this movie, but the title alone got itself on the, on the ban list. So, but nevertheless, it's not a bad watch. It's probably not for everybody. The Car. Killer car film, man, with James Brolin. I love this movie. I've always loved this cover art too, man. It's just fantastic stuff. Now has a Blu-ray release from Scream Factory, which I also do own because I love this movie. I'm a big fan of road horror, killer car films, all those type of things. So, but yeah, great movie. Into some later Dario Argento, The Card Player, a film that, man, when this movie first came out, I hated. I couldn't stand this movie. It grew on me over time. I still don't love it, but, I appreciate it for what it's worth. It's definitely better than some of Argento's films after this. Dracula 3D, oh my lord. But yeah, this one has its moments. It's got a pretty interesting premise. I just think that the budget was kind of constraining a little bit, so... Yes, Rupert Everett in Cemetery Man. Very, very sought out DVD release. Actually, you can seem to find these things around a little bit more now. It's interesting. Mikel Suave's masterpiece. This is a perfect 10 out of 10 for myself. I absolutely love this film. It's so strange and bizarre, but it's cohesive at the same time, if that makes any sense. I don't know. There's lots of different ways to interpret this film, I think, but it is just a fucking masterpiece. One of the greatest films. I absolutely love this one. Needs a Blu-ray release. Or I should say an unlimited one, because it did have one from somebody released it, and it was out of print right away, whatever, but... Cheerleader Camp, also known as, what is it, Bloody Pom-Poms? Is that the alternate title for it? Yes, Bloody Pom-Poms was the alternate title. Run-of-the-mill type slasher film, super, super cheesy. I think a couple of these actresses in this film went on to make pornos, which doesn't really surprise me because there's lots of tits and shit like that in this one, but that cover art forever. It's just so awesome. I love it. Pretty fun film. And we got Children of the Corn, which, oddly enough, this is the only edition of Children of the Corn I even own. I never grabbed any type of Blu-rays. I'll probably end up grabbing the Arrow Blu-ray someday, but... classic Stephen King stuff. This one, again, gets a lot of mixed opinions from the fans. Some people like it, some people don't. I respect the people that don't. I respect the people that do. I've always enjoyed this. Actually, the scene where they hit the body that's standing on the road. And when I first watched this film when I was very, very young, that scared the shit out of me. I was like, how in the fuck is he standing? I could never figure out how he was standing. Yeah, Children of the Corn. To this day, I don't like cornfields. I really don't. Chud, another film that's made its way to Blu-ray, which I obviously own. Chud is a film that I have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes I like watching it, sometimes I don't. I just honestly wish that they would show the Chuds a little bit more in this. There's so much story involved in this film, which is cool that they did that, but I wish they had incorporated the Chuds a little bit more. Sometimes you don't need to see the monsters, but in this case, I just wish they had, because they were kind of cool looking, and it had an interesting story. So, Chud, very cool. The first edition of Creepshow 2, this is like the bare bones edition that came out in like 2000. Always like that cover art, pretty cool stuff. The DiviMax edition that came out 2004 or 5 or something like that. Creepshow 2. I always like Creepshow 2, man. Yeah, man, it's fun, man. I never used to really care for the old Chief Woodenhead one, but that one really grew on me. I think that's actually fantastic. The Raft. It's funny, man, when you watch Creepshow 2 on Blu-ray, which I do have the Blu-ray also, the raft, the shit that's in the water, when you watch this on Blu-ray, just looks like a fucking tarp. It's so funny looking. It's just so cheesy. Yeah, and The Hitchhiker. Always criticized for not having that many stories in this one, but I like Creepshow 2. It's fun. Crimes of Passion, another film that's made its way to Arrow Blu-ray. Man, this one right here, Kathleen Turner and Anthony Perkins, man, this is just one of those films that you got to see it to believe it. Both people knock their performances out of the park, and it's a very daring film. Kathleen Turner plays, she's like a white-collar executive type worker. In the day, at nighttime, she is a prostitute. Yeah, so she does crazy ass prostitution things, and Anthony Perkins plays like a crazy religious pastor type dude who's obsessed with her, and it's just about these two characters and the relationship and shit. It's fucked, man. Like, it's just such great performances. If you've never seen Crimes of Passion, give it a shot. Ken Russell directed this one. Couldn't have it any other way. Such an oddity, but I love this movie. Crimes of Passion is excellent. Curse of the Devil. This is a Paul Naschy film, early 70s. Kind of like a period piece, werewolf style. It's pretty good. I actually like Curse of the Devil. It's pretty fun stuff. And Naschy's been getting his treatment this year, man. So many Naschy films in the collections. Oh, just making my year. The Dark Room. This is a film I really can't remember too well. I remember it having to do with something about a fucking experimental drug or some shit. I haven't seen this movie since I bought it like years ago, so I don't know. I can't remember. My favorite movie of all time, Dawn of the Dead. This is one of many, many editions of the movie I have. The very first copy. Well, no, I shouldn't say. Well, the first DVD copy, because I had the VHSs before this, but yeah, just the especially special DiviMax. I think that was the first edition. Yeah, no, that was the first one I got. That was the theatrical cut. Here's another edition, which is the director's cut. Dawn of the Dead. And then here's another edition, the US theatrical cut. This cover art, man, just it's so strange to me. Always inviting. And then here's another copy of the film, the Argento cut, which is known as Zombie. Hence why Fulci made a sequel called Zombie 2. So yeah, man, very, very interesting cut. The pacing is a little faster in this and stuff, but I honestly prefer to watch all three cuts. There is no one or the other. The cut I do watch the most is the director's cut because it is the longest cut, and I prefer the longest cut because I just want more Dawn of the Dead. Day of the Dead, yes, that cover art right there. This was like super bare bones. Look at this edition. It's fucking awesome. That's pretty cool. Now here's edition. I actually have the Day of the Dead Blu-ray, Scream Factory Blu-ray, signed by 4 or 5 other members, but I got Bub to basically sign this one by himself. But he called me Moodsy because, I don't know, we were joking around with it and he wrote it down. I'm like, that's cool, man. So life is beautiful. So yeah, that's very, very cool. Yeah, I'll forever cherish. He was such a nice guy. I had to just get that signed by himself. This is interesting, man. I found this one time and it made me laugh, so I just picked it up. Someone made like a bootleg version. Like they basically just printed out the cover art, but the discs inside are actually the real. So I'm assuming their case probably got fucked up for this. These are the real discs for this. And I just kind of kept it because it was like $1 or some shit, but that's kind of funny. And then here's the actual edition of that. This is the, the Velcro edition where it does that, and it's got all the goodness inside and shit. Such a great edition, Day of the Dead. One of my favorite movies of all time, Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, like running my top 5. So, yeah. I don't know why I just put that in. This one's actually backwards, it's very annoying. I don't know. Day of the Dead 2, Contagion. Oh my god. This movie right here, whew. This is some bad shit right here, man. Very, very bad. Very, very bad movie. Dead and Breakfast with lenticular cover. Modern kind of. It's a comedy. It's a musical. It's like everything. It's gory. It's pretty fun, actually, man. Dead and Breakfast, it's a fun time, man. Check it out if you've never seen it. The Dead Next Door, which is another film I do own on Blu-ray. Fuck, I have tons of these movies. But that's what you get when these DVDs, some of these are like 15 years old. Yeah, man, good shit. I know, who does, oh shit, man, I can't remember. Yeah, this movie has a really cool 3-disc Blu-ray release, which I do own. It's fantastic, man. The transfer is amazing on it and shit. I've always loved this film, man. Super low budget zombie film. Bruce Campbell actually does one of the voices in this film too, which is kind of interesting, but I've always really liked this one. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about it, which is unfortunate, but it's a good zombie film. Demon Hunter. Not a very good film. It's basically what it is. It's about a dude hunting demons. Yeah, this guy right here is a demon hunter. It's pretty low budget, kind of run-of-the-mill shit. I wasn't really a big fan of it, to be honest. Another Argento. Do you like Hitchcock? Fuck guys, sorry about this glare. I cannot help it because I have this big ass window right here, so sorry man. Do you like Hitchcock? Which is basically just a homage to Hitchcock type deal. This was made for TV, and I actually really enjoyed this film. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty fun. This one gets shit on by a lot of Argento elitists, but yeah, I think it's actually pretty fun. The Evil Dead, the Horror Legacy series, yeah, that's just like the slipcover that it comes. You'll recognize, yeah, it's got that that cover art on there. I see a bunch of these Horror Legacy series editions in here, but yeah, only original Anchor Bay. Evil Dead, you know, we all know the film and love it. One of my favorites, man. I could watch Evil Dead any day of the week. Evil Dead 2, which has that, looks like I'm jerking it off, has that cover art underneath. Evil Dead 2, you know, it's more or less a remake of the first one, comedy version. I know a lot of people like kind of even prefer this one over the first one, but I don't. I like the, you know, the horror version of it better, but Evil Dead 2 is fun. UK edition, original Anchor Bay edition of Evil Speak. It has like 2 different cuts on it, 2 discs and stuff. I could never find the original, the Region 1 one, so I went and grabbed the UK one for like, you know, pennies basically. So that's good shit. But now it's on Blu-ray. I've got it on fucking so many editions of it. It's so stupid. I always liked Evil Speak though, man. Good stuff. Clint Howard, good stuff. The Fallen One, super cheesy. Oh my god, this movie, man, it's super cheesy. It's hilarious. I think this was a recommendation from my boy Matt. I didn't know Anchor Bay ever put this one out, but Casper Van Diem. This movie, man. Oh my god. That's all I can say. It's cheesy as fuck. Then we got Fright, man. Oh, what a fantastic film. Really great stuff. Another very sought out original Anchor Bay title. I can't believe this one doesn't have another release. It's ridiculous that it doesn't, but this one needs a Blu-ray release. Susan George, just fantastic stuff right here. You guys want to stop that, or if you want to pause that to read the synopsis, but yeah, Susan George, I love her, does an excellent job, so good stuff. Alright, so let's get into these Anchor Bay tins. I do have all 12 of them, which was a little bit of a pain in the ass trying to get all these. I never grabbed them way back in the day, which I probably should have. I remember seeing these things around, and I just didn't. Just didn't have the cash back then, I guess. I don't know. But first up, one of my favorite movies of all time, Maniac. Everybody knows that this is one of my favorite movies. One of the more limited ones to 5,000. Pretty cool stuff. I don't know if I can open this up, but you know what? I don't want to do that. So, but it actually comes with a soundtrack in the shape of Joe Spinell's head. It's just fantastic, man. I love that addition in this, man. But these things are always just fantastic. Evil Dead 2. Again, just fantastic stuff. Limited to 50,000. Remember back in the day when you could limit things to 50,000? I mean, now that's a wide-ass release. Companies just don't sell 50,000 copies of their releases anymore, but that cover art, you know, that artwork's always been pretty cool to me. Next up here, we got Halloween 4. I'm not sure why I have Halloween 4 behind Halloween 5, but depends which way you're going, I guess. Yeah, cool stuff. Limited to 40,000. Number 17,000. Who gives a shit? I don't care about numbers. Yeah, good shit, man. Good stuff. Halloween 5. Pretty cool. Limited to 15,000. I always wondered why the limited, like how they come up with their limited numbers. Maybe it was the contract. I don't know how they did it. Because they have, you know, the standard editions of those films too, so I don't know why they just did them like that. But this movie is phenomenal. 2-lane blacktop. Great road action film. Directed by Monty Hellman. But yeah, if you've never seen this film, definitely give it a shot. Limited to 15,000. All filled with all the goodies. And that's another thing. These things have tons of fucking cool goodies and shit in them. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. This one was a bitch to get, man. This was such a bitch to get. Limited to 5,000. That's probably why, because it's just like Maniac. Very limited, but absolutely love this film. I have this movie lots of times because I love it. and I'm a fucking hoarder. So, Hellraiser, very, very cool stuff. I believe this comes with Hellraiser 1 and 2. Yes, it does. Limited to, I think this, it doesn't say what it's limited to, 23,000, but I think it is limited to 40,000, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. I know I looked it up one time. It might be 50, but it could be 40. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Hellraiser, very, very cool tin. I actually met Doug Bradley past summer at HorrorCon, and I was actually thinking about getting this tin signed, but then I looked at the prices and it was like $70 to get a signature and like $40 for a picture. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. So fortunately enough, I actually met him in the elevator the night before, so I talked to him then for a minute, but that was good enough. So I'm just not paying those type of prices for autographs. It's ridiculous. They rape us in Canada. They rape us. The Beyond, yes, again, one of my favorite movies of all time. Just so many editions of this film. Limited to 20,000. Available for the first time uncut. Very, very cool stuff. It comes with a whole pile of dope goodies in there. Then we got the oddity in here. We have the Woodbox Wicker Man, which is actually the director's cut. And it comes with theatrical, or I should say the extended version and stuff. So limited to 50,000. This one's very, very easy to get your hands on. I think you can pick this one up for super cheap now too. But yeah, I always like this. I think it's pretty cool they did it in the Woodbox. Kind of makes sense. Makes sense. So here's like the oddity one here. This one's getting a little bit beat up, but Candy, like, I don't know why they did this one like this. Limited to 16,000. This is a film from, I want to say 1968. And it's kind of like a, it's like a comedy fantasy type film. Very odd. Let's put it this way. It's very, very odd. Kino has put this out on Blu-ray, so if you're interested, maybe give it a shot. But it's definitely worth the watch. It's such a fucking weird film. Very, very strange stuff. Next up here is Repo Man in the Sideways license plate one. And Glorious Year 2002. I always love this edition, man. This is really cool stuff. Limited to 30,000. Repo Man, Emilio Estevez. Very strange sci-fi, fantasy, action. I don't really know how to classify this film, but it's fantastic, though. And the odd one out of the whole bunch is Heathers. I'm still to this day, I don't know why they put out Heathers in this special tin edition, but Christian Slater, you know, Winona Ryder, Shannon Doherty. Look at that cast right there of the early 90s. I don't know, it was actually 88 this film came out in. Well, fuck me. Limited to 15,000. But I will say I do enjoy Heathers. I think it's actually a pretty good kind of thriller for the time. But again, still very odd that Anchor Bay put that shit out. So yeah, what do you do? So I'm going to stop it right here, and then we'll continue along with the rest of them as I am running out of time on here. So yeah. All right, so moving along here, I just removed the ones that were up on the top here and the candy. So we'll get into some of these box sets and shit that I have. Sleepaway Camp Survival Kit. I completely regret not grabbing the first edition of this because I remember seeing it around back in the day. I didn't, but, you know, I waited. And, of course, this one actually I think comes with... There's something missing out of the first one, too. The one that they had to pull off the shelves. Maybe it comes with the fourth, Sleepaway Camp 4 or something. I can't remember. There is something different about this. Somebody let me know down. I just can't remember right now. Sleepaway Camp, man, I absolutely love these movies. I'm such a big fan of this franchise, with the exception of The Return to Sleepaway Camp. It's just, my God, that movie has the most annoying character in the history of slasher films in it. I really like Part 3. I know it's not the best sequel, you know, if you're out of the, you know, the original two, but I really enjoy it, man. But, it's, you know, Sleepaway Camp. Good shit. Good shit. And then we got the Mario Bava collection volume. Apparently I just grabbed volume 2. I have these in here backwards for some reason. I don't know. This thing is getting fucking worn. But, of course, this one comes with Lisa and the Devil, House of Exorcism. Same film. Bay of Blood, Baron Blood, Kidnapped, Roy Colt and Winchester Jack, $5 for an August Moon, and 4 Times That Night. So a couple of these films don't actually even have Blu-ray releases yet, so which is pretty cool. Roy Colt doesn't, 4 Times That Night doesn't also. But yeah, this is a very, very nice set. Yeah, it's just been pulled out so many times. I used to watch these films like all the fucking time. And the Volume 1 set, Black Sabbath, Black Sunday, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Knives of the Avenger, and Kill Baby Kill. Just picked up Kill Baby Kill on the Arrow Blu-ray. I own all the other ones except for Knife of the Avenger does not have a Blu-ray release yet, so hang on to your sets, folks. Yeah, man, another great set. I wish they had made these like a little bit sturdier. They seem to get beat up a lot. I mean, those things look rough. They probably look more rough on camera, but they're not too bad. But I just wish they had done them in harder boxes. The Ilsa 3 collection film sets, uncut, uncensored, and unbelievable. This is one that I never grabbed back in the day, and I regretted it because it went out of print and it was going for stupid money. It was always like up to 80, 100 bucks for the set. Because I wasn't really into Nazi exploitation films back when this came out, and I just, I wasn't a thing. And then I got into them, and I was like, man, I need to get that Ilsa set. So, you know, of course it has She-Wolf, the SS, Harlem Keeper, the Oil Sheiks, and the Wicked Warden. Yeah, we've actually reviewed all these on the podcast, but yeah, this is a fantastic set right here. I fluked out and got this set for $20 on Amazon.ca, plus the $3 shipping, so it was 23 bucks. And I remember when I picked this up, I said to my friend Jeremy, NES Ruler 22, I said, man, I'm probably getting fucked on this. They're probably going to send me something totally different. Lo and behold, it came in pretty good shape. All the discs were in great shape and everything, and 23 bucks. Like, what a score. I actually got this for cheaper than what I would have paid for it if I had bought it when it came out. So that worked out. That worked itself out. Dawn of the Dead Ultimate Edition, which is probably my favorite set in my entire collection. Because it's my favorite movie, it has all the cuts on it and stuff. I have heard rumors that Anchor Bay is working on putting this set out on Blu-ray, but I guess that remains to be seen if they're actually going to do it or not. But I do have tons of cool box sets, but this one, it's not the most expensive one or anything, not the most unique, but it's just dear to my heart, so I love Dawn of the Dead. The Evil Dead Ultimate Edition 3-disc sets, which, you know, was pretty cool. So I put this in the box sets, but this actually came out when the logo had changed to the Anchor Bay middle logo, so I'm kind of cheating here, but whatever. But yeah, nice set here. It's got, you know, a couple different editions of the film, widescreen, full screen, stuff like that. Manhunter Special Edition THX, limited to 100,000. That's insanity. That's insanity. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Opera, which just came out on Blu-ray from Doppelganger. Is it Doppelganger that put out? I can't remember that's pretty cool. I think Code Red's also putting it out too. Limited to 30,000. This copy actually does work. I know this thing's had issues. And then, of course, we've got Suspiria, the big, thick booklet thing. I love this edition, man. It's great. Limited to 60,000. Comes with the soundtrack, as does Opera, too. This thing is like a brick. You could beat someone to death with this fucking thing. It's amazing. Actually, one of my favorite releases Anchor Bay ever did was this one right here. I always loved this. I think I still have green stuff in there. You probably can't see it on the camera. But the Reanimator, kind of big box, needle edition. One of my favorites. I was thinking about getting this signed when I met the cast of this film. But I was like, nah, I wanted to preserve it. So, but it's still in pretty good shape. Got a couple creases, but cool edition. Now here's a set I hear absolutely nobody talk about. The Mirror Mirror Collection, 4-film collection. Mirror Mirror, Raven Dance, The Voyeur, and Reflections. These are kind of like early 90s film. Like, yeah, this is pretty much a 90s series, except for Reflections, I think came out in 2000. But it's like a 90s franchise that like no one ever talks about. It's very interesting. I think you can find this relatively cheap. The films are okay. I want to revisit them. I wanted to do some reviews maybe on my 90s series when I get that back going on Mirror Mirror. So let me know if you guys want to hear about them or not. Maybe I'll get ambitious one day and rewatch the films. It's been so long since I've seen them, so. Alright, so getting into just some standard stuff here. Halloween. I always like this slipcover, man. Kind of cool. I mean, that's actually one of the nicer slipcovers, and this is like an old edition too. Like 2007. This one's like 11 years old now. But yeah, Halloween, we all have these editions. Halloween Legacy Series with the slipcover. It's actually still sealed. Yeah, because really, I mean, I have so many editions of Halloween, it's ridiculous. Oh, and this one's kind of stuck. Yeah, here we go. That's why I must have picked this one up. But yeah, Halloween. Again, I don't know why that was stuck. Maybe I was jerking off in here, I don't know. The extended edition, which is kind of like the 12-minute extra footage shot for television. Yeah, it's like the TV cut of this, which is very cool to have, actually. Because I don't think this cut has been released on Blu-ray at all. It's here, so that's kind of cool. Halloween 25th Anniversary DiviMax Series Edition. It's got that 87-minute documentary on there and stuff, which is very, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Halloween 4. Halloween 4. Halloween 5. So these don't really look that special, considering I already showed the tin sets of them. But, yeah. Happy Hell Night. This one has made its way to Blu-ray, courtesy of the good folks over at Code Red. Thank you, Bill. Which I have not actually picked up. I've never really been the biggest fan of this film, but I haven't watched it in years, so I should rewatch it. Maybe I will grab that Blu-ray someday to rewatch it. I mean, that really makes no sense, considering I'm holding the DVD in my hand. Why would I go and buy the Blu-ray for $30 when I could rewatch the film and find out if I still like it on DVD? Wow, that just made no sense. Happy Hell Night. Yeah. Hatred of a Minute. This is from 2002. This is actually, it was like a modern film. I think it was released that year too. Yeah, 2001, 2002. So they released this film when it came out. Pretty interesting character study of this dude. Is like a serial killer, I think. And produced by Bruce Campbell. Actually, this film was a lot better than I was anticipating it to be. It was kind of cool. So, I remember watching it for the 2002 show. Heartstopper, still sealed. I've never watched this movie. Robert Englund. Yeah, I picked this one up apparently used, but still sealed. I think it was like $2. I just never opened it. I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out someday. But I can't comment on that one. Hell Night. This was the upped version, because I think the original one has the red writing, but I picked up this one. I just recently got this on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, which I have not checked out the transfer, which I've heard is not very good, unfortunately. So it's unfortunate that Linda Blair doesn't show her titties in this film, because she's got some nice boobies. But Hell Night's a pretty cool film. Hellraiser, just the standard THX edition, and then we got Hellraiser 2. I think these are the same discs that are in the tin, I'm pretty sure. So, great films. And then we got The Hills Have Eyes. This is just the single edition one. And the Legacy series slipcover. Hills Have Eyes, classic Wes Craven. And then here's the 2-disc version of it, which feels like a goddamn brick. And it has so many extra features, man. It's just ridiculous. You guys can see all that. I keep apologizing for the glare, but there's absolutely nothing I can do. Return to Horror High. George Clooney, I think this is like one of his first films he was ever in. It's okay, man. It's like a sequel to Horror High type thing. I don't know, man. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember not really caring for this film. House with the Legacy series slipcover, which is pretty damn cool. I'm a big fan of House, man. Of course, I've got I think I'm actually sitting right next to the Blu-ray set, which is right here. So that's pretty cool, man. That they actually, I mean, it's region 2, but yeah, I think the American one only has the first 2. So, but anyways, House 2, second story, which I enjoy. And I like House 4. I'm not a big fan of House 3, which, is actually not even really part of the franchise. But I don't know, man. I just never dug part 3. 4 has got that ridiculous part with the pizza. It's so funny. Here's like a bootleg of Lena Quigley's horror workout. I found this on a shelf one day and I started laughing. I was like, I don't think Anchor Bay ever put this out, or someone put it together, or maybe they did put this out or something. I don't know. I can't even remember, but I never watched it. No, I'm lying. I actually work out to this all the time. It Waits. Man, it's been so long since I've seen this one. I can't even remember what the hell this is about. Shit, dude. I can't even remember. Probably should have done some research before I started doing the shows. But no, I can't remember it. Can't remember it. The Johnsons. This is a film from the Netherlands, I believe. Very, very odd film, man. Very enjoyable, though. Very cool stuff. It's unique. There's nothing like this one. Here's the synopsis if you want to read it. Check out The Johnsons. It's very cool. Very cool film. Mario Bava's kidnapped, also known as Rabid Dogs, which another film I do have on Blu-ray, but this is the Anchor Bay edition. I always like this film. This is Lightning Bug, right there. No text on the front, which is kind of interesting. You don't see a lot of covers like that. Directed by Robert Hall, who did the Chrome Skull films. This was his film before. This is actually pretty damn good. Very good stuff. Madman. So I couldn't find the Anchor Bay Region 1, so I went to the UK and got this for super cheap. I actually got this off Nick Box, the director. Actually sent me this one. He was selling off some things. He sold it for me for like a really good price. So, but you know, again, another film that couldn't get for a long time, and then I have like multiple copies of it in Code Red and Scream Factory and Jesus, Madman. I was like that cover, pretty cool stuff. Malevolence, a very, very cool film. Oh, here I am jerking the thing off again. Here's the kind of the cover art, if you guys can see that. Legacy Series Edition. This is a very interesting film. I didn't really care for the sequel that much. Apparently there's supposed to be a third one, but I think the director's having issues making that one. But Malevolence, cool stuff. Here's a standard edition of Manhunter. Well, the THX edition of it. Yeah. This is the standard. DiviMax, restored director's cut. Okay, so I got too many editions of Manhunter plus the Blu-ray. Fuck. Another film I have entirely too many editions of is Maniac. But you can't have enough editions of Maniac because it's awesome. And I'm not going to get into this OG versus remake thing. Because it turns out that a lot of people really like the remake more. I love the remake. I think the remake is fantastic. I was blown away by the casting of that film, and I was not expecting much from it, but the remake was awesome. But the original always holds a special place in my heart. The Manitou, what a fantastic film with Tony Curtis, Susan Strasberg. Man, this one right here you got to check out. It's very, very sought out. Goes for stupid money. Needs a Blu-ray release. Yeah, man, this is such an awesome film. It's odd. It's an odd, great film. Check it out from the 70s. 70s weirdness. The good cover of Maximum Overdrive with the mangled body on there. I love Maximum Overdrive. I know a lot of people seem to shit on this one. I don't know why. I just like the story, man. I think it's silly. It's like this meteorite that caused everything to... all the electronics and shit to go AWOL, man. Go apeshit. Emilio Estevez again. I don't know, man. This is just a fun film. It's got a fun soundtrack from AC/DC. You can't go wrong. Or maybe you can. I don't know. Neon Maniacs. Such an oddball film. This is a film that I watch every so often, and every time I'm finished, I'm like, I want more. I think this movie had so much more potential than it delivered, but it's still a fun film for what it is. Yeah, another one I have too many editions of now, but I still enjoy Neon Maniacs. I wish they had done a sequel to this or something. Near Dark, the THX edition. Bill Paxton, rest in peace. So sad, man. Can't believe. But this is a great vampire flick, man. We all know that. Everybody watching this video knows that. Here's the special edition one. The 2-discer. Which, gotta have, because Near Dark is awesome. I do have the Blu-ray too, which has that ridiculous, like, Twilight artwork on it. Oh my god, that is some bad shit right there. Here's one I recently picked up, I think last summer. Nick Knight with Rick Springfield. It's like this really shitty, like, vampire... Oh, man. I think it's actually made for TV, but it's kind of entertaining, to be honest. A very oddity-type film. I'm glad that Scream Factory, or Anchor Bay released that, because it's pretty cool. Nightmare City, Umberto Lenzi. Again, rest in peace. Holy shit. This is one that I picked up used, obviously. I have so many copies of this film, too. Nightmare City, love it. Night of the Living Dead, classic Romero. Yeah, I know Anchor Bay put out so many editions. I had a couple other editions of this film from Anchor Bay, and I don't know what happened to them. It's very strange. Night of the Demons, classic Kevin Tenney. I actually have the Blu-ray signed from Kevin Tenney. One of my favorites, man, Leanna Quigley. I love the soundtrack to this film. The score is just phenomenal, man. Night of the Demons rocks. Night of the Living Dorks. Yeah, where's Jeremy? Oh. Yeah, actually kind of funny. this movie was actually kind of, it's really what it is. It's, you know, zombie dorks. So, Nosferatu, the remake. Yeah, can't go wrong with this shit right here, man. Werner Herzog. Such good stuff, man. Yeah, you gotta love it, man. It's a great remake. Then we got Phantasm, Anchor Bay edition. It's classic, man. It's just classic. What can I say? One of my favorite movies of all time. Recently picked up the box set, the Arrow set. Here's Phantasm 3. Yep, good stuff. I think Phantasm 4 was actually released on, yeah, it has the other Anchor Bay logo, so it's not sitting right next there. Big shout out to my man, Abby, who sent me this over. Still sealed possession. I do have, like, the monster box set, if you guys can see it up there, too. But this is one of my favorite movies, man. Sam Neill. Oh, fuck, man. The performances are so phenomenal in this film. It's such an oddball film, but I love it. I think it's just great. Then we got a sealed copy here, Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. I've seen this movie before. I had found this copy, apparently used, but brand new, for $2, so I picked it up. It's such a shitty film, but wanted for the collection. Race of the Devil, Peter Fonda, Warren Oates, kill this in the satanic cult road horror type film. It's awesome. If you've never seen Race of the Devil, check it out. There is a Blu-ray, which I showed. I think I showed it. Yeah, it was a Scream. I don't know if I showed it already or not, but anyways, awesome film. And then we've got Bruno Mattei's Rats. Hey, I have this shirt. Yes, a copy that I guess I picked up used. Yeah, good stuff, man. Rats is fucking awesome shit, man. I love me my killer rat films. Reanimator, signed by Stuart Gordon, Barbara Crampton, and Jeffrey Combs. When I met the cast, which is pretty damn cool. Jeffrey Combs was such a treat. Actually, everybody was super nice, man. But I got this edition out of all the editions of Reanimator signed because, I don't know, I just did. Then we got Reformed Schoolgirls with Sybil Danning, women in prison type film. It is what it is, right? You know, you're getting yourself into with that one. Return of the Killer Tomatoes. I actually like this one more than the first one. I don't know. Not really a big fan of the Killer Tomato films, but, you know, it's kind of cool. That cover, it rocks. Then we've got Satan's Playground, directed by Dante Tomaselli. This is a Jersey Devil story, which, in my opinion, man, nobody's ever really made a great Jersey Devil film. There's so many attempts at it, but it seems like everyone always fails. This one had potential, but just didn't really cut it for me. Kind of a shame. The very sought-out Season of the Witch, and There's Always Vanilla double feature Romero, which now just got reissued by Arrow Blu-ray, so that's kind of cool. It's back in print, but I know a lot of people are always after this DVD. Very good shit. Cool stuff. Still glad to have that. Here is one called The Seduction with Morgan Fairchild. Didn't even know Anchor Bay had ever released this, and I was in Chicago with my boy Jeremy, and we came across this in a secondhand store, and I was like, holy shit, man. I got it for like $5. It was selling for like 30 or 40, so. But yeah, Seduction. Actually pretty good thriller type film. Pretty good. Yeah, like an erotic thriller. It's not bad. Then we got The Slayer, which is just a raging piece of shit, man. With, you know, there's Casper Van Dien again. Yeah, this movie fucking blows. It's so low budget and shitty. Just, ugh. It's garbage. Sleepaway Camp. More Sleepaway Camp. Yes. It does have the classic. There it is. I think I might have just fucked that up, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get the slipcover back on here, so fuck that. We're going on the ground for that one. Spontaneous Combustion. Yeah, man. I've never really been a big fan of this movie, man. Toby Hooper. What's his name? Brad Dourif. It's okay. This movie's alright. I know Code Red put it on Blu-ray. I never grabbed it because DVD is enough for me. I don't know. It's alright. But one I wish would get a Blu-ray release so everybody else could see it because this is very sought out. Superstition, supernatural slasher from like 1982, I think. Awesome flick, man. Really, really good stuff. Super gory, awesome kills, great atmosphere, great setting. It's a fucking blast. One of my favorite Anchor Bay releases. And we've got Suspiria. I think this one actually had a Legacy Series slipcover at one time, but mine got torn up or something like that. So, but Suspiria, of course, we all know this. Many, many editions of that one. The Tooth Fairy, not a very good one. This is another modern one that Anchor Bay released that I didn't really care for. It's a pretty shitty telling of the Tooth Fairy. Then we got some Argento, a Trauma here. I can't. I'm afraid to take these fucking things off now, so I can't get them. Anyways, that's what the cover looks like down there. Trauma. Not a bad film. I think this one also has Brad Dourif in it. Alright, Asia Argento. I don't know if that's my eyes or if that's whatever, but yeah, it's actually a pretty good film. It's not bad. One of the last great Argentos, in my opinion. The Unnameable, this is the UK edition with also the sequel, which is kind of cool. Pretty cool film, actually. Then we've got Vamp, which, yeah, I don't know where my slipcover is for this one, too. There should be a slipcover for this, but yeah, another one I have on Blu-ray. It's a pretty decent film, and Grace Jones does a great job as the master vamp, but pretty cool stuff. And then we got Witchboard, of course, with the classic artwork. Again, another one I do own on Blu-ray. But one of my favorite films, man. Kevin Tenney has done like 2 of my favorite films. Night of the Demons, Witchboard. Gotta love him. Another edition of The Wicker Man. Yes, this is just the theatrical version. And then we've got Fulci's Zombie. Gotta have this. I'm actually quite surprised that Anchor Bay didn't do a lot more editions of this, just considering what film it was. So yeah, so that's it for the horror stuff here. I do have a couple non-horror ones at the end here. I'll just kind of showcase. We got Bad Boys of Sean Penn. Pretty cool stuff. This is actually a really great film. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Then we've got Black Hole. Anthony Perkins is actually in this film. It's pretty interesting stuff. Oh man, this movie right here, so funny. Body Rock, it's like a breakdancing film from like '84. Some good shit right there. Clockwise of John Cleese. Pretty funny comedy. The Dam Busters. Set in, what is this, World War II, I think? Yeah, World War II. Actually, pretty interesting story. Then we got Ed O'Neill's Dutch. Love this film, man. This one was actually written by John Hughes, I believe. Yep, there we go. Funny stuff. The Height of Married Children. Heather's 20th High School Reunion Edition. Gotta love Heather's. We also got Highlander here. Christopher Lambert. Sean Connery. Oh, The Long Good Friday. Bob Hoskins. I also have this on. Here we go. Here's the Blu-ray right here. The Arrow one. This movie's phenomenal. Same with Mona Lisa, man. That movie's fucking awesome too, but The Long Good Friday, amazing film. This is such an oddball film here, man. The Philadelphia Experiment, produced by John Carpenter, about like the invisible radar story and shit. Like, it's really crazy if you guys just want to stop. Pause that, read that, but this is based on a true story. It's really insane. Repo Man, another edition of Repo Man. Then we got Thunderstruck, like the AC/DC movie. And this one right here, which goes actually for ridiculous money still, which is Tough Turf with James Spader. Yeah, Robert Downey. A young Robert Downey. Pretty crazy stuff, so. But yeah, so there's a few non-horror ones that I picked up. I think there is some more around, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's going to do it for the Anchor Bay collection. I guess next here we'll move on to the rest, kind of like the middle section of them, and then we'll get into these Blue Undergrounds, which I pretty much have the entire collection. Maybe I'll just do the Blue Undergrounds. I don't know what we're going to do next. You guys tell me what I'm doing next. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the video. This has gone on way too long, which I figured it was going to. So, and then we'll eventually be making our way over to the things that people keep asking me about. The Scream Factories and the Arrows and etc., etc. The Scorpions and the Code Reds and all the goodness, right? All right. Anyways, guys, check you guys later. Peace!